If you want the world to no longer touch you, you must become the one who does not succumb to its poisonous influences. In this world, weakness is not just an ailment, it is an open door for all who seek to break you. But there is a path where you do not merely survive, but become untouchable. This video is based on Nietzsche's philosophy and will be of interest to those who seek to understand how to rise above the storms of the world, or to those already familiar with philosophy who wish to deepen their perspectives. Well then, let's begin. Embrace your power. For too long, you've allowed the words of others to carry more weight than they deserve. Look closely at those who seek to belittle you. Don't their gestures scream of weakness? Don't their shouts echo with desperation? They are like children, trying to shake the foundations of your inner world without realizing their own is crumbling under the weight of their hatred. But you are not their toy. You are not their target. You are the rock upon which the waves of their impotence break and scatter. Take this as a truth. Their desire to wound you is proof of your strength. They envy the way you stand firm while they fall apart. They fear your clarity because their world is lost in fog. Those who humiliate others are already humiliated themselves, for the truly strong have no need to crush others beneath them. Your response to their toxicity must not be anger, but a quiet acknowledgement of your worth. Do not retreat, do not break, but also do not stoop to strike back. That is the path of the weak. Maintain your dignity. This is like a game of chess. You are not obliged to make a move when your opponent has already placed themselves in checkmate. The world will always be filled with those who shout louder than necessary to drown out their inner emptiness. But let their cries remain echoes that never reach your heart. Your calm is their defeat. Your indifference is their undoing. Embrace your power, and you will see that such people can never destroy what you have built within yourself. Do not allow yourself to be their arena. Toxic people thrive on conflict. It is their lifeblood, their theater, their stage. They bait you with insults, with manipulations, with the sharp edges of their words, not because they seek resolution, but because they seek your participation. They need you to play their game, to step into the arena they have prepared. Without you, their drama crumbles into silence, their rage collapses into futility. Do not give them what they crave. Leave the battlefield. Walk away, not in defeat but in triumph. For the greatest victory is the one that requires no fight. Let them stand alone with their anger, shouting into an empty void. Do not let their chaos become your chaos. Their games are hollow, their provocations, born from insecurity, from a desperation to pull you down to the same level of misery they inhabit. To engage is to validate their existence. To stay is to tether yourself to their turmoil. But to walk away, to refuse them your energy, your attention, your soul, is to reclaim your power. Imagine their frustration as they swing their swords at shadows, their weapons striking only the air. That is the fate of those who fight in solitude, abandoned by the one they sought to entangle. Your absence is not weakness, it is strength. It is the ultimate declaration that you are not a pawn in their game. Your dignity is unassailable, your peace untouchable. Let them rage, let them scream, let them burn themselves out. You will be elsewhere, untouched by their fury, standing tall in your own light. Become the mirror. Do not absorb their venom, reflect it. When they hurl their words like daggers, let them see their own reflection in the polished surface of your calm. You are not their target, nor their victim. You are the mirror that exposes their intentions, their insecurities, their weaknesses. To reflect is not to retaliate. It is to stand firm, untouched by their malice, while forcing them to face the truth of themselves. That is your opinion, you say, with a voice as steady as the earth beneath you. This simple phrase is not a defense, but a revelation. It strips away their power, for they thrive on reaction, on the chaos of your emotions. By refusing to react, by refusing to engage, you rob them of their influence. What they see before them is not you, but their own distortion. A mirror does not fight, and yet it wins. It does not argue, yet it commands respect. It is a force of nature, silent but unyielding. To become the mirror is to become untouchable. Their words do not penetrate. They bounce back, leaving only the hollow echo of their own voices. This is not passivity, it is mastery. You are the one who dictates the terms of engagement. You allow no entry into your mind, no claim over your spirit. They will falter when they see that their weapons have no effect, that their shadows cannot stain your light. And in their faltering, they will learn you are not their plaything. You are the immovable truth, reflecting the emptiness they hoped to bury in you. Learn the power of silence. Silence is not absence. It is presence distilled into its purest form. When you choose silence, you are not retreating. You are ascending. Words, when spoken in the midst of conflict, often become weapons, cutting indiscriminately, leaving wounds on both sides. But silence? Silence is a fortress, impenetrable and vast. It is the deafening absence of reaction, the void where their fury echoes back to them, unanswered. Your silence is not weakness, it is a mirror of their chaos. As they hurl accusations, weave manipulations, or drown themselves in the noise of their own making, you remain still. That stillness terrifies them. It is a refusal to play the role they've assigned you, a defiance that cannot be provoked. They crave your words, your reactions, your defenses. Without them, they are left with only their own voices, their own emptiness reverberating in the silence you've created. In your silence, their ego crumbles. Every unspoken response is a crack in their fragile facade. Every refusal to engage a blow to their imagined power. Let them drown in their own words, in the desperate futility of trying to fill the void you've left. They will rage, they will flail, but their fury is no match for the immovable silence of your resolve. Silence is not the absence of action, it is the ultimate act of control. To master silence is to master yourself, to declare that no one can dictate the rhythm of your soul. Stand firm in your quiet and watch as their storms dissipate into nothingness. Do not justify yourself. To justify is to kneel. It is to place the weight of your choices and existence into the hands of those who seek to diminish you. When you explain, when you defend, you grant them the illusion of power, the power to question you, to judge you, to decide if you are worthy. But you owe no one such authority. You owe no one an explanation for the way you walk through the world. Toxic people thrive on your justifications. Your words become their fuel, your defenses their victory. The more you explain, the deeper you sink into the web of their control. Every because is a thread they use to bind you. Every excuse, a brick they lay in the walls of your confinement. They are not looking for clarity. They are looking for cracks. They do not want understanding. They want domination. Stand firm. Your actions are yours alone, born of your will, your purpose, your truth. You do not need to explain them to those who have no stake in your journey, no understanding of your path. Let their questions hang in the air, unanswered. Let their accusations dissolve into silence. Your refusal to justify is not stubbornness, it is sovereignty. To live unapologetically is to reclaim your power. It is to declare that your worth is not up for debate, that your choices need no validation. The world will clamor for explanations, for reasons, for proof. But you are not here to appease. You are here to exist, fully and freely. And in that existence, unburdened by the need to justify, lies the truest form of strength. Learn to walk away. True strength is not found in enduring every battle, nor in withstanding every storm. It lies in the wisdom to recognize when a moment, a conversation, or a relationship has turned poisonous, and the courage to turn your back on it. Walking away is not an act of weakness. It is the ultimate assertion of your power. When you walk away, you do not retreat. You rise. You declare that your peace, your time, your energy are too valuable to be squandered on those who seek to drain them. Toxicity feeds on your presence, on your willingness to stay and engage, to argue and explain. But the moment you choose to leave, you starve it, you strip it of its fuel. What remains is a hollow echo of its own futility. To walk away is to reclaim the narrative. You are no longer a participant in their drama, no longer a player in their game. You are the one who decides where the story ends, and it ends when you choose. Let them rage, let them stew in their own bitterness. Their words, their manipulations, their attempts to tether you lose all weight the moment you step beyond their reach. This is not an escape, it is an ascension. You rise above the chaos, untouchable and serene. The world will tell you that to endure is noble, that to tolerate is strength. But endurance without purpose is self-betrayal. Tolerance without boundaries is the slow erosion of your soul. Do not betray yourself for the comfort of others. Leave the table when respect is no longer served. Walk away not out of anger, but out of reverence for your own value. Your departure is not a loss, it is a triumph. It is the mark of a soul that knows its worth and refuses to let the poison linger. Use sarcasm, but wield it wisely. Sarcasm is a double-edged blade, sharp, precise, and dangerous in unskilled hands. It is not a weapon for destruction, but a tool for deflection. When wielded with care, it becomes a shield, a subtle rebuke that protects your dignity without stooping to the level of those who provoke you. But remember, sarcasm is not an act of war. It is the art of gracefully exiting a battlefield without a single wound. When confronted with toxicity, a well-placed sarcastic remark can deflate the ego of your aggressor without escalating the conflict. It is a quiet reminder that you see their game and you refuse to play by their rules. Sarcasm at its finest is not cruelty, but clarity. An elegant way of exposing the absurdity of their behavior without sinking into the mire of anger or bitterness. But tread carefully. Sarcasm is fire. Controlled, it warms and illuminates. Unchecked, it burns and destroys. Do not let it consume you, turning you into what you aim to resist. To use sarcasm recklessly is to become the very thing you stand against. Toxicity cannot be defeated with more toxicity. Instead, let your sarcasm be a scalpel, not a sledgehammer, cutting through pretense with precision, leaving no lasting scars. The true power of sarcasm lies in its restraint. It is a whisper where others would shout, a smirk where others would rage. It allows you to maintain your composure, your wit, your control. Do not let it become your crutch or your default. Use it sparingly like a rare spice to add flavor to your defense without overwhelming it. In the end, sarcasm is a reflection of your strength, not your weakness. It shows that you are unshaken, capable of standing tall in the face of provocation. But let it serve your peace, not your pride. Let it be a testament to your wit, not a weapon in a war you do not wish to fight. For the greatest victory is not in the cleverness of your reply, but in the serenity of your soul. Look deeper. There is a truth hidden beneath the venomous words, a truth that only the wise can perceive. The toxicity you encounter is not a reflection of you, but of them. It is the outward projection of their inner turmoil, their unresolved fears, their silent regrets. Behind every sharp word, behind each attempt to tear you down, lies a shadow, a fear of inadequacy, a jealousy of your strength, a pain they cannot yet confront. When you see this, their words lose their power. They become the cries of the wounded, not the weapons of the strong. The venom they spew is not a testament to your worth, but to theirs. It is a desperate attempt to bring you into their darkness, to make you feel what they feel, but you need not answer the call. You need not let their poison infect you. Understanding this is not about pitying them. It is about seeing them for what they truly are. It is about recognizing that their attack is a reflection of their own brokenness. Your response should not be to fight back, but to distance yourself from the chaos they carry. Their words are the echoes of their pain, not the truth of your existence. In the moment you recognize the fear or envy behind their toxicity, you strip their words of their weight. You break the chains they try to wrap around you, and you free yourself from the illusion that their opinion matters. Their words are no longer an affront to your being, but a cry for help, a silent scream from a soul trapped in its own suffering. When you see deeper, you no longer react to their insults. You see them, truly see them, and in that moment, you become untouchable. You walk away not in defeat but in understanding, knowing that their toxicity is not your burden to carry. It is their own struggle, their own fear, their own pain, and it has nothing to do with the strength of your spirit. Do not try to save them. You are not their savior, their healer, or their therapist. The moment you take on the delusion that you can change another's nature, you relinquish your own power. You become entangled in their mess, drowning in a sea that was never meant to be yours. The belief that you can fix someone, especially someone toxic, is a trap, a siren song that leads you further into their world of chaos and confusion, where your own boundaries dissolve and their dysfunction becomes your burden. Your role is not to save the lost, but to preserve yourself. You are not here to heal the wounds of others, especially when they refuse to face the source of their own suffering. Their pain, their bitterness, their toxicity, these are not yours to carry. You are not a martyr. You are not here to self-sacrifice. In the name of their growth, your responsibility lies in protecting your own peace, your own soul, not in attempting to rescue those who are not ready to walk the path of healing. There is a certain arrogance in thinking you can change another person. It is not humility, but a misguided belief in your own power. You cannot reshape the essence of someone who does not wish to be reshaped, and in trying, you diminish yourself. You become entangled in their suffering, absorbed by their wounds, and in the process, you lose sight of your own purpose. Your true strength lies in your ability to walk away when you realize this. It lies in your refusal to become a part of someone else's story, to fix what is not yours to fix. It lies in the clarity to recognize when it is time to protect your energy, to put up walls, and to refuse entry into your sanctuary. In the end, the greatest service you can offer to a toxic person is not to save them, but to show them the consequences of their behavior. Your boundaries, your peace, your refusal to be dragged into their chaos are the only lessons that will truly make an impact. It is not your job to heal them. It is your job to protect yourself, and in doing so, you set the example that healing begins within, and that no one can change unless they first choose to. Do not take it personally. Their words are not a reflection of you, but of them. Each insult, each criticism, each venomous remark is but a projection of their own inner landscape, a mirror of their fears, their frustrations, their insecurities. They speak not to you, but to themselves, from a place of self-doubt, confusion, or unresolved pain. To take their words to heart is to accept a false narrative, to believe that your worth is something they can define, something that can be shaped. By their fleeting judgments, you stand apart from their perception. Their version of you is a distorted echo, a shadow that has nothing to do with your true essence. The moment you internalize their toxicity, you allow them to invade the sanctity of your mind, to claim dominion over your peace. But your soul is beyond their reach. It is untouchable, impenetrable to the poison they throw. To take their words personally is to forget who you are. It is to surrender your autonomy to another's perception, to lose sight of your own value. In the fog of their misunderstanding, you are not their mirror, you are not their canvas. What they say about you is irrelevant, for it tells you more about them than it does about you. When you understand this, their words lose their sting. They become nothing more than a passing wind, a fleeting moment in time. You are not defined by the opinions of those who have not earned the right to judge you. Your worth is inherent, not conditional. It is carved in the deepest recesses of your being, beyond the reach of those who seek to tear it down. Your soul is a fortress, and their words are but the winds that howl outside its walls. They cannot touch you unless you let them, and in choosing not to take their words personally, you reclaim your power. You free yourself from the shackles of external validation and step into the freedom of self-definition. Do not allow their reflection to distort the image you hold of yourself. Your identity is yours alone, untouched by the storm of their judgments. Stand firm in the knowledge that you are beyond their reach, and in doing so, you become untouchable, impervious to the winds of their disdain. Act unexpectedly. There is a profound power in unpredictability, a power that disrupts, disorients, and disarms. In a world where reactions are expected, where patterns of behavior are anticipated, to act with cold indifference is to shift the very ground beneath your adversary's feet. You see, toxic people thrive on control, on knowing how you will react, on being able to provoke you into a response. Your anger, your frustration, your defense, all these are the elements they feed on. They seek to ignite your emotions, to pull you into their vortex of chaos. But what happens when you do not engage? What happens when you remain untouched, unbothered, a silent void in the face of their provocations? This is where their power crumbles. The moment you reveal indifference, you strip them of their fuel. They no longer know how to trigger you, how to manipulate you. They are left flailing in the dark, trying to provoke a response that will never come. Indifference is not weakness. It is the ultimate form of control. It is the quiet assertion that you are not subject to their whims, their emotions, their demands. When you act with indifference, you send a message far louder than any retort could. You do not matter enough to disturb my peace. There is a certain terror in this. They are used to reactions. They are used to conflict. But when faced with the calm, unshakable indifference of someone who refuses to play their game, they are left powerless. It is not the reaction they expect. It is the absence of it that leaves them vulnerable, exposed, and impotent. In your indifference, you demonstrate a truth they cannot deny. You are the master of your own responses, the sovereign of your own peace. You do not need to engage with their toxicity to remain whole. The moment you stop reacting, you cease to be their pawn. You become the one who decides when the game ends, and in that power, you find your freedom. Ask questions. In a world where words are weapons, where the sharp edges of criticism are thrown with reckless abandon, there is a subtle yet devastating power in the simple act of inquiry. Why do you think that? It is a question that disarms, not with force, but with curiosity, an innocent-seeming query that, like a spear of truth, pierces the fragile armor of certainty that toxic people wear. When faced with an attack, when confronted by the venom of someone who seeks to tear you down, the instinct is often to retaliate, to defend, to fight fire with fire. But what if the true weapon lies not in your rebuttal, but in your question? What if you could unravel their confidence, expose the hollow foundation of their assertions with nothing more than a single inquiry? Why do you think that? This question forces them to confront their own reasoning, or lack thereof. It opens the door to vulnerability, to doubt, to the realization that their certainty may not be as solid as they once believed. It is a challenge, not to their words, but to their very perception of reality. It invites them to explain themselves, to justify their position. to reveal the cracks in their logic. And the moment they begin to justify, they expose their weakness. For the toxic individual's certainty is a mask, a defense against their own insecurities, their own fears. To question that certainty is to expose the fragility beneath. They will either stumble over their own words, unable to provide a coherent answer, or they will retreat into silence, unable to face the truth of their own contradictions. Either way, the power shifts from them to you. This question is not about proving them wrong. It is about shifting the focus. It is about breaking their grip on the narrative and putting them on the defensive. In that moment, you become the one who controls the conversation, the one who holds the power to shape the outcome. Their certainty, once absolute, begins to crumble under the weight of your inquiry. So, when faced with toxicity, remember that the most powerful response may not be in what you say, but in what you ask. Let the question linger in the air, unanswered, unsettling. In that silence, you will find the strength to remain untouchable, and they will find themselves exposed. Control your breath. In the tempest of verbal assault, in the whirlwind of insults and provocations, there lies a secret, a weapon so subtle, so powerful, that its mastery is the very essence of control. It is the act of breathing, calm and unyielding, that separates the unbroken from the broken. In moments of attack, while others may falter, react or tremble, you remain still. Your breath, steady and deliberate, becomes the fortress around your soul. To control your breath is to command your inner world. It is to let the chaos around you rage while you remain unmoved. In that moment, while the venomous words fly, while the insults pierce the air, you breathe in the quiet certainty of the untouchable. You are not a creature of reaction. You are a master of yourself, the stillness in the eye of the storm. You do not need to answer, to defend, to rise to the bait. The very act of breathing calmly signals something far more profound. You are impervious, unshaken, unstoppable. In a world where most are slaves to their emotions, where anger and fear flare up with the slightest provocation, the ability to control your breath becomes the ultimate act of rebellion. It is a sign of strength, of inner power that no one can take from you. The toxic person, in their desperation to provoke, expects you to crack, to break, to engage with the fury they unleash. But when you breathe with purpose, with control, you deny them the satisfaction. You show them that their assault is meaningless, that their words are but wind against the unyielding stone of your resolve. This is not mere composure. This is an assertion of your sovereignty. It is the knowledge that nothing, not even the most venomous attack, can alter the rhythm of your being. Each breath is a declaration of your independence, a reaffirmation that you are not subject to the chaos outside. You are, in that moment, the master of your own existence. So when the world comes at you with its fury, when the toxic voices seek to draw you into their madness, remember this: the greatest power you can possess is the stillness of your breath. Breathe deeply, breathe slowly, and in doing so you announce to the world that you are beyond their reach. You are untouchable, unassailable, and unshakable. Rise above their level. There is a profound strength in restraint, an unparalleled power in not lowering yourself to the level of those who seek to bring you down. They will try to drag you into their world of petty games, of insults and manipulation. They will expect you to meet them in the mud, to fight fire with fire, to engage on their terms. But the greatest triumph lies not in defeating them on their chosen battlefield, but in refusing to enter the fray at all. When you rise above their methods, you achieve something far more significant than victory. You achieve transcendence. You show them that their tactics, their cruelty, their hatred have no place in your realm. You are not bound by their rules, their limitations. You are not a participant in their drama. You are the observer, the one who sees through the veil of their insecurity and pettiness, and in doing so, you expose their weakness. The moment you engage in their methods, you become just another player in their game, subject to the same rules that govern their existence. But to refuse to rise above, to remain untouched by their attempts to pull you down, is to show them that you operate on a level they can never reach. You are the one who stands tall, not because of your desire to crush them, but because you understand that they are already defeated. Their need to tear others down, to manipulate, to control, is the mark of those who have already lost. They have no substance, no true power. They rely on dragging others into their pit of despair, because they cannot stand on their own. But you are not like them. You do not need to stoop to their level to prove your worth. Your worth is inherent, unshakable, and unaltered by their attempts to diminish you. You are above their reach, above their understanding. And in this, you hold the greatest power of all, the power of sovereignty over yourself, the power to choose your response, the power to remain untouchable in the face of their chaos. Rise above them, for in your elevation they see their own collapse. Your strength lies not in meeting them where they are, but in standing firm in your own place, untouched by their darkness. When you refuse to engage in their methods, you reveal the ultimate truth. They are beneath you, and you are not bound by their limitations. You have transcended the petty games of the world, and in doing so, you become the true victor. As you walk through this world, remember that true strength is not in the battle, but in the ability to rise above it. You are the master of your own peace, the architect of your own reality. Let no one take that from you. May you find the courage to remain untouchable, to stand firm in your truth, and to walk with the unshakable knowledge that you are beyond the reach of those who seek to break you. Stay strong, stay free, and above all, stay true to yourself.